Picture this, a ship so huge it looks less like a boat and more like someone took a skyscraper, laid it on its side, and set it afloat. That's a modern cruise ship. And here's the wild part. It isn't just a ship. It's basically a billion-dollar floating city. Inside, you'll find everything from luxury hotels to theaters, shopping malls, restaurants, even hospitals. And while passengers are here for the fun, behind the scenes, the design is working overtime just to keep everything running. Power, water, sewage, food, waste, all in the middle of the ocean. But here's the real question. What actually goes into designing something this massive? I mean, how do you squeeze the needs of 9,000 people, passengers plus crew, into a steel box that has to survive storms and travel across oceans? Take the Wonder of the Seas, the world's largest cruise ship. Price tag? About $1.35 billion. It carries more people than some towns, almost 7,000 guests and 2,300 crew members. And just like a town, it needs its own electricity, water, roads, garbage system, everything. Except here, it's all floating. On average, a ship like this has to make over 1.5 million gallons of fresh water every day, just so passengers can drink, shower, and swim in those massive pools. And the fuel? Let's just say these ships can burn through thousands of liters an hour. One design flaw, and you're not talking about a delay. You're talking about a floating disaster. So why do these ships cost more than $1 billion each? Sure, luxury is part of it. Cruise companies want pools, theaters, and even roller coasters at sea. But the real cost is in the design. Engineers have to pack all of that luxury into a structure that can survive hurricanes, travel for weeks at a time, and, if the worst happens, evacuate thousands of people in minutes. That's the real magic of cruise ship design. Every chandelier and water park hides a layer of engineering and safety most passengers never think about. And honestly, that's what makes these ships billion-dollar floating cities. A cruise ship rises over 200 feet above the waterline, about as tall as a 20-story building. Add thousands of people, tons of food, pools, theaters, and even carousels. And you've basically got a skyscraper on a wobbly surface. One wrong calculation, and the whole thing becomes unstable. This is where naval architects work their magic. The ship's hull is designed wider than most people realize, almost like a giant bowl. That width lowers the center of gravity, making the ship harder to tip. On top of that, hidden tanks inside the ship can be filled or emptied with seawater, a system called ballast tanks. If the ship starts leaning too much to one side, water is pumped in or is out until it evens out again. And here's the crazy part. Modern ships also use stabilizer fins. Imagine giant wings hidden under the waterline. These wings move automatically when waves hit, canceling out the side-to-side roll. Passengers up top might feel a little sway, but without these systems, even calm seas would feel like a roller coaster. But balance isn't the only design challenge. Space is the real battlefield. Every square meter has to serve a purpose. So naval architects break the ship into zones. Passenger decks on top, crew and service areas hidden below, and the heaviest machinery right at the bottom for stability. Think of it as a floating skyscraper, but designed upside down. Luxury above, logistics below. Take the kitchens or galleys. They're not just rooms with stoves. They're engineered as production lines. Food storage is placed directly beneath, so supplies can be lifted by dedicated elevators straight into the galley. Each kitchen is positioned close to the restaurants it serves, cutting down transport time. Even the ventilation is calculated so heat doesn't build up in the middle of the ship. Laundry is just as extreme. Instead of scattering small laundries everywhere, designers centralize them into massive automated plants below deck. Dirty linens are sent down through designated shafts, washed, pressed, and sent back up through service elevators, a hidden vertical highway that keeps the passenger decks clutter-free. The layout isn't random. It's mapped so workers can move thousands of tons of fabric without ever crossing passenger pathways. But cruise ship design isn't just about function. It's about money. These ships cost over $1 billion to build, and every hallway, every restaurant, Every cabin is designed with one thing in mind: paying that money back. Ticket sales only cover part of the cost. The real profits come from onboard spending, and the ship's very layout is engineered to encourage it. Shops and bars are placed along main walkways, so passengers pass them again and again. Just like malls on land, cruise ships use repetition to drive impulse buys. Food and drinks, designed for spending. Sure, the buffet and main dining room are included, but specialty restaurants, Italian, steakhouses, sushi bars, are deliberately placed in prime spots with ocean views. It's not by accident, it's design psychology. When you walk past a sunset-lit steakhouse every evening, you're more likely to book a table. Bars are everywhere too, by the pool, outside theaters, along promenades. A cocktail that costs the cruise line $2 can sell for $12 or more. Multiply that by thousands of passengers every single day, and you've got a floating gold mine. Cabin strategy: small rooms, big profits. Even cabins are part of the business plan. Interior cabins, small, no windows, are cheap to build, but profitable because they sell fast to budget travelers. Balcony cabins? They don't cost much more to construct, but passengers will happily pay thousands extra for fresh air and a view. At the top end, luxury suites with private butlers can earn as much as 10 interior cabins combined. Designers place them in the most scenic parts of the ship, the front and upper decks, where the views are unbeatable. Casinos and entertainment. Fun with a price tag. Casinos are placed at the heart of the ship, where passengers can't miss them. And in international waters, cruise lines don't pay local gaming taxes, keeping more profit. Entertainment, too, is part of the money plan. Broadway-style shows, skating rinks, water slides. They aren't just attractions. They keep passengers on board, where every drink, every photo, every souvenir adds to the revenue. Passenger flow, the invisible hand of design. Architects even design how passengers move. Elevators open facing bars. Staircases lead you straight into lounges. Corridors guide you past shops instead of around them. It's subtle, but it works because movement equals opportunity and opportunity equals revenue. The cruise lines often hire naval architecture firms such as STX Marine, Tilburg Design of Sweden, YSA Design Norway, or Partnership Design Germany. These firms handle everything from the outer hull to the lighting inside the restaurants. Naval architects handle the ship's structure, marine engineers design the propulsion, power systems, plumbing, and ventilation. Interior designers and architects create the passenger areas, and shipyards turn the design into reality. As in the end, a cruise ship isn't just a floating hotel, it's a billion-dollar machine engineered to maximize comfort for passengers and maximize profit for the company. Every space you walk through, every view you see, is part of that design. But here's a side of cruise ships nobody really talks about. What happens when they are too old to sail? These ships cost hundreds of millions to build, but they don't last forever. After about 30 years, many of them are sent to scrap yards, usually in Turkey, India, or Bangladesh. And the process is brutal. Crews literally run them aground on a beach, then cut them apart piece by piece. It's the complete opposite of the glamorous life they once had. From luxury spas and fine dining, to being chopped into steel for recycling. A strange, almost sad ending for something that once carried 500,000 passengers across the world. It may not be a loss for the shipping companies, but for those who once had memories connected to it, its absence is deeply felt. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe our channel, The Curious Corner, for more fascinating content.